Join me as I dive into the chaos of El Salvador's mega prison, where I'll try to uncover what life is really like for hundreds of gang leaders locked up together. El Salvador's government has been taking drastic measures to combat gang violence, and the opening of this mega prison is the latest move in their fight against crime. The prison is designed to hold thousands of inmates, and it's been touted as a solution to the country's overflowing jails. Many are hoping this will be the answer to reducing violence and restoring order. This new prison is a massive facility, with state-of-the-art security and a reputation for being nearly escape-proof. Hundreds of gang leaders have already been shipped there, and many more are expected to follow. The government is confident that by isolating these high-ranking gang members, they can disrupt the gang's operations and reduce crime. But it's not just about the prison itself, it's about the message it sends to the gangs and to the people of El Salvador. Gang violence has been a major problem in El Salvador for years, with violent crime rates soaring and civilians often caught in the crossfire. The government has tried various approaches to tackle the issue, from negotiated truces to all-out crackdowns. This latest move is part of a broader strategy to regain control of the streets and protect the public. By targeting the leaders of the gangs, the government hopes to cripple their ability to coordinate and carry out violent acts. The mega prison is just one part of a larger plan to tackle gang violence, and it's a significant investment for the government. With its advanced security features and large capacity, it's designed to be a long-term solution to the problem of overcrowding and violence in the country's jails. As the situation continues to unfold, it's clear that the government is committed to taking a tough stance on crime and making a real effort to reduce violence. Gang activity in El Salvador has a long and complex history, with roots stretching back to the country's civil war. Many of the gangs that operate today were formed by young people who were displaced or affected by the conflict, and they've evolved over time into sophisticated criminal organizations. The violence and intimidation they use to control territory and extort money from civilians have become a major obstacle to development and stability in the country. Statistics on violence in El Salvador make for grim reading, with high rates of homicide and assault contributing to a climate of fear and insecurity. The historical context of gang culture in the country is also important to understand, as it helps explain why the gangs have been able to establish such a strong presence. From the streets of San Salvador to the rural countryside, the influence of the gangs can be felt everywhere. Gang culture has become deeply ingrained in some parts of El Salvador, with many young people seeing the gangs as a way to gain status, protection, or a sense of belonging. This has made it difficult for the government to combat the gangs, as they're often able to recruit new members and maintain a level of support within the community. The government's latest move is an attempt to break this cycle of violence and intimidation, and to create a safer, more stable environment for everyone. The government's approach to gang violence has been shaped by the experiences of other countries in the region, as well as its own history of dealing with the gangs. By studying what has worked and what hasn't, the government hopes to develop a more effective strategy for reducing crime and improving public safety. This includes a combination of tough law enforcement measures, social programs to address the root causes of gang involvement, and community-based initiatives to build trust and support. Shipping gang leaders to the mega prison is a key part of this strategy, as it's designed to disrupt the gang's command structures and reduce their ability to coordinate violent acts. By removing these individuals from the equation, the government hopes to create a power vacuum that will make it harder for the gangs to operate. This, in turn, should lead to a reduction in crime rates and an improvement in public safety. The rationale behind this approach is to target the individuals who are driving the violence and intimidation, and to create an environment where the gangs are less able to operate. By focusing on the leaders, the government hopes to send a strong message that violent crime will not be tolerated, and that those who engage in it will face serious consequences. This should help to deter others from getting involved with the gangs, and to reduce the overall level of violence in the country. The expected impact on crime rates is a significant reduction in violent crime, particularly homicides and assaults. By disrupting the gangs' operations and removing their leaders, the government hopes to create a safer environment for everyone. This, in turn, should have a positive impact on the economy and on community development, as people will feel more confident to invest and participate in their communities. Public safety is a major concern in El Salvador, and the government's latest move is an attempt to address this issue. By creating a safer environment, the government hopes to improve the quality of life for everyone, and to create opportunities for economic growth and development. This is a long-term strategy, and it will take time to see the results, but the government is committed to making it work. Previous government crackdowns on gangs have had mixed results, with some successes but also many challenges. The government has learned from these experiences and is using this knowledge to develop a more effective approach to combating gang violence. This includes a combination of law enforcement measures, social programs, and community-based initiatives, all designed to work together to reduce crime and improve public safety. Statistics about the current situation in El Salvador are stark, with high rates of violence and crime contributing to a climate of fear and insecurity. However, the government is confident that its latest move will help to turn the tide and to create a safer, more stable environment for everyone. This will take time, but the government is committed to seeing it through and to making a real difference in the lives of the people. The new prison system is just one part of a broader strategy to tackle gang violence, and it's an important investment in the country's future. By providing a safe and secure environment for inmates, the government hopes to reduce the risk of violence and escape attempts, and to create an opportunity for rehabilitation and reform. This, in turn, should help to reduce recidivism rates and to create a more stable, law-abiding community. Critics of the government's approach have raised concerns about human rights violations and the potential for abuse within the prison system. These concerns are valid, and the government must take steps to ensure that the rights of all inmates are respected and that the prison is run in a fair and humane manner. This includes providing access to education, healthcare, and other basic services, as well as ensuring that inmates are treated with dignity and respect. The effectiveness of harsh prison sentences in reducing crime is a topic of debate, with some arguing that they can be counterproductive and actually increase the likelihood of recidivism. However, the government believes that in the case of gang leaders, tough measures are necessary to disrupt their operations and reduce their influence. This approach must be balanced with a commitment to rehabilitation and reform, to ensure that inmates have the opportunity to turn their lives around and become productive members of society. As the situation in El Salvador continues to unfold, it's clear that the government is committed to taking a tough stance on crime and to making a real effort to reduce violence. The mega prison is just one part of this strategy, but it's an important symbol of the government's determination to address the problem of gang violence. The government must also listen to concerns and criticisms and be willing to adapt and evolve its approach as needed. In my view, the government's approach to gang violence is a step in the right direction, but it's just the beginning. The root causes of gang involvement, such as poverty and lack of opportunities, must also be addressed, and the government must work to create a more just and equitable society for all. This will take time, effort, and resources, but it's essential for creating a safer, more stable environment, and for reducing the appeal of the gangs. The implications for El Salvador's future are significant, as the government's approach to gang violence will have a major impact on the country's development and stability. If the government is able to reduce crime and improve public safety, it will create a more favorable environment for investment and economic growth, and will help to improve the quality of life for everyone. However, if the approach is heavy-handed or ineffective, it could exacerbate the problem and create even more challenges for the country. The government's stance on gang violence is a complex and multifaceted issue, and there are no easy answers. However, by taking a comprehensive approach that includes law enforcement measures, social programs, and community-based initiatives, the government can make a real difference and create a safer, more stable environment for everyone. This will require patience, persistence, and a commitment to seeing it through, but the rewards will be well worth it. As I conclude this video, I encourage you to share your thoughts on the prison system and its effectiveness.